action.
Hi, welcome to Buffzone. I'm Kyle Ringo. This is Neil Woelk. We cover the University of Colorado football team for the Daily Camera newspaper. We're here at Liquor Mart at 15th and Canyon, as always. And Liquor Mart is the home for all your tailgating needs. And this week, the Buffs and Buffs fans, well, Buffs fans anyway, will be finally doing a little tailgating here in Boulder. It's the latest home opener in Folsom Field since 1980. September 18th this year. It was September 27th in 1980. And there's 10,000 tickets still available for Saturday's game as of Tuesday, which is today. And based on the performance last week at Cal, a 52-7 loss, I'm not sure I'd be buying tickets either, Neil. What do you think?
Well, you know, if you want to look, nice day in a nice stadium, nice place to be, yeah. But if you're looking for, you know, based on performance of last week, then you'd have to certainly look in your wallet and see how much is there. But I think it's going to be a very interesting week for the Buffaloes. You know, if I'm the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, or if you're the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, which means you'd have to take a pay cut. But after that, if you're the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes, you have to look at this as a very, very important game, because if they don't turn it around this weekend, play well, get a win, all of a sudden this thing slides out of control in a big, big hurry.
I think it's getting to that point really quickly here. 52-7. The Buffs could have gone to Cal last week and lost that game if they played, you know, fairly decently, but they didn't. They didn't play anywhere close to decently. They were abysmal, I think is a word that fits that performance. And coming off last year, 3-9, all the questions surrounding the coaching staff, having an effort like that in week 2, your first road game, your introduction, so to speak, to the Pac-10 conference, it has brought all the negativity back surrounding this program. And I think that just makes this week's game against Hawaii that much more important.
Oh, no doubt. The general rule of thumb, if you've covered football for a while, is everybody makes their biggest step in improvement from week 1 to week 2. Well, that was not a very good step. That was a tumble into a big, big, big deep hole. It's not even square one. So they have to come out this weekend and fix all the things that they were talking about today, whether it was Coach Hawkins or Scotty McKnight. They need a good performance. They need to come out and play well, and not only get a win, but I think they need to play well in you know, every part of the game and restore some confidence, because if not, it'll be a long 2 weeks before that Georgia game.
You know, I would say the number one area in my mind, and probably a lot of people's minds, in terms of needing to see some improvement is the offensive line. The offensive line just looked awful the other day. There's no easy way, there's no nice way to say it. I mean, they did not play well. They were beaten badly by the Bears, and they were made to look bad, basically. And I think the one area of offensive line play that they need to improve on most is they have to find a way to be able to run the football. They are not a good running team. They weren't all of last year, and they haven't been so far this year. They didn't run the ball particularly well against a bad Colorado State team. They averaged 1.7 yards per carry last week. Rodney Stewart actually carried the ball 29 times and gained 78 yards, and they have to do way, way, way better than that for this offense to get moving again. You know, I was just looking in the Big 12 standings and statistical rankings, and the Buffs are right there where they've been throughout the Dan Hawkins era again. It's only 2 games, but they're at the bottom of all the offensive statistical rankings.
I tell you what, I'll take that, but I'll say the thing that I think they need to improve on most was their pass protection. Tyler Hansen was just under pressure all day long. They never got their passing game going. You know, when you have a guy that's supposed to be your All-American left tackle and people are running around him and getting to your quarterback, that caused some problems early. They couldn't throw the ball, and once they couldn't throw the ball and they knew that pass rush was going to be effective, they got behind. And the running game was ineffective. I think they have to be able to protect Tyler Hansen. They have to make sure that he has time. If they can throw the ball, if they can complete some passes, get it downfield, Scotty McKnight talked about that today, get deep a couple times, make some things happen in that passing game, it will open up the running game. But if they can't protect their quarterback, they're never going to be able to run the football.
See, I can agree with you to a certain extent there, but I guess you and I just have a little bit of a philosophical difference there. my personal opinion is I don't think this Colorado football program is ever going to get back to where it ultimately wants to be until it can go out there and run the football when an opponent
Well, I think
knows
anybody
it's
has
going
to
to run the football.
Yeah.
I think the reason they couldn't protect the passer the other day is because they were in too many obvious passing situations.
Well, they were down 14-0 when it started. They were
Right.
down 14-0 when the whole thing started. I mean, within, what, 5, 6, 7 minutes into the game, they're down 14-0. So they know that running the football is not going to be their bread and butter. When you're down that quickly, you have to throw the football to get back into the game. When you have to throw the football, the other team knows they're going to do it. Boy, they were bringing in some blitz packages that Colorado admitted they had not seen. They had not seen those. They didn't have anything in the in the game film from UC Davis that would indicate that they were going to do that, and it took them apart. And so I think they need to come out and establish both. I love the running game. I've covered this program for 30 years, and when they run the football, they're successful. There's no doubt about it. But if they can't protect their quarterback, if they can't throw the ball, then they're not going to be able to run it.
All right, so this week we have what Dan Hawkins has described as an electric Hawaii team. I think we all saw them play against USC, or at least saw the score of that game. The first week of the season, I think they scored, 38 points against USC. So that right there tells you that they're quite capable of moving the ball down the field and scoring some points against the Buffs. So, what are your expectations for this game against Hawaii, considering what you saw Saturday?
Well, I think it's a different team this is not Cal. I don't think I saw a lot of the Army Hawaii game the other day. I don't think this Hawaii team is comparable to Cal in terms of pure skill athletes. I don't think they have the same kind of athlete. I think they have very good athletes, but I think Colorado has a much better chance of slowing down those wide receivers and playing a good game against them. Plus, I love the fact that they're at home. I mean, just playing at home, Colorado's home opener should make a big difference. Colorado should be able to come out and control Hawaii's offense, and like you said, move the ball on the ground, throw the ball, and establish some control in this game.
So, you got a prediction for us?
Oh, I think Colorado wins this game. It's a much scarier game than you would have thought at the beginning of the season. If you watched the way they played against SC, you watched the way they stayed in the game and ultimately won at Army. Very competitive team, but I think Colorado at home on Alfred Williams, special day. I think they win this game, and I think they do it fairly handily. I think you'll see the offense come out and actually do some things they haven't been able to do yet. And I think Colorado wins this game about 36-14, 36-20.
Wow, you and I are drifting apart, man. We gotta get back together, because I could not disagree with you more. I think the Buffs are going to lose their home opener to Hawaii, something that, back in the spring or early summer, a lot of people would have thought, wow, that's just not even, in my realm of possibility. But I definitely think that's what's going to happen this week. I thought the Buffs had a chance last week. I thought they'd at least be competitive. I picked them to lose last week, but I didn't foresee that. And now I'm just totally off the boat. I'm off the bus. I'm overboard, man. I don't believe in this team right now, and I think they're going to lose to Hawaii.
I think they'll come out and play well. I think they're going to surprise some people. I think this team comes out and plays well this weekend, gets a little momentum, and then has 2 weeks to get ready for Georgia. I don't think this team is done. I've seen other teams get beat, just get drilled, get worked, and have come back. So I think that this team still has enough leadership on it and enough good players that they are not going to let one game this early in the season completely send it downhill for them.
Well, after 52-7, Neil, I'm going to have to see it to believe it.
Well, we'll check in next week.
All right.